What's up, Enduro guys? This is your program for the 14th of July. And we're going to start with some rear foot elevated split squats. Like we described last week, you did this body weight, so you should have a good awareness of your positions. We're going to load this up and get some strength in that position. This week's going to be quite leggy, very dynamic. This is going to be the theme for a couple of weeks at least. So get used to this type of movement. We're not necessarily going to be super heavy. We'll reintroduce some of the weighted or heavier weighted lower body stuff in a few weeks' time when we start another macro cycle. But for now, rear foot elevated split squats. The rear foot elevated split squat with a kettlebell. So this is a 16 kilo kettlebell. I would probably say go lighter to start with until you're feeling the movement. This is in my left hand, cradled by an elbow out to the side. Oops, laces down on the back foot. You're going to go all the way so there's a stretch in your back leg, and a nice drive through the heel on that front leg. And you're going to do 12 to 15 each side 3 times round. And that's it for part A on day 1. Then, interesting workout. This is a combination of deadlifts and farmer carries. So the suggestion is 10 meters. If you only have a 5 meter distance that you can go in your gym, so be it. But with 2 kettlebells, these 16s, I would encourage heavier. If you can manage 24s, then do 24s. You're gonna pick them up, walk, nicely brace through your midline. Once you get 10 meters, place the kettlebells down, turn around, pick them up. So consider that as 1 deadlift. Walk another 10 meters, put them down, turn around, and then do 2 deadlifts. 10 meters, put them down, turn around, 3 deadlifts, and so on, as far as you can in a 6-minute window. So if you can, this is going to be very good for the grip. Hold on to them as long as you can, and only take your hands off the kettlebells when you're doing the turn and you're placing the kettlebells down. It's going to be very good for the hinge, but unlike a hingey deadlift, because of the distance being a little bit lower than a barbell, I would suggest that you push your knees forwards more, pushing your butt out, and you're not relying on a full hinge. So it's a bit of a squatty deadlift. And I know that we try and differentiate between the squats and the hinges, but this is a big movement that's going to incorporate the quads, glutes, and hamstrings, which has its benefits in this type of workout when we're also working some capacity. And then, speaking of capacity, 10 by 10 on the assault bike, your intensity input on day 1, so that hopefully everyone can get it in, even if you're just doing 1 day's training. I insist that you do the 10 seconds on the minute every minute for a maximum of 10 minutes. And as always, try and finish before the 10 minutes are up, because you've hit it so hard on the early rounds. If you're managing all the way through, then have a word with yourself about the intensity and try and absolutely blast it. On day 1, you can also add some of the mobility and core work that we've added into the email body. Now, I apologize for the format. I have said that on the text of the emails previously, but whilst the website's under development, this is the way that you can access them quickly on the weekly emails. At some point, we'll be embedding those onto a website where you're probably going to have a member access area, and everything will be on there. It'll look way better, but essentially you're getting that information either way. So please use it to your benefit for the core work and for the mobility stuff. And then moving on to day 2. It's a 2,000 meter row to start with. So you're going to row at 2,000 meters, slightly less than your best 2,000 meter row pace, because as soon as you're off, you've got some work to do, and then get back on for another 2,000 meter row at the end. So we call it a 2,000 meter row buy-in and cash out. And in the middle of that, pay attention to this, it's reasonably interesting. So with a dumbbell in each hand, you're gonna do 40 reps of this. You're gonna have both up to start, take one down, and you're gonna do 5 reps of pressing, and then 5 reps on the other side for a total of 10. And you're gonna do that for 40 total. Then you're gonna get over into a hinge position, row them both, and then again, you're gonna do 5 on the right, 5 on the left, until you've done a total of 40. So the purpose of this is that you are under tension and you have to brace your midline the whole time throughout the whole workout. So 40 presses, 40 rows, then on the ground for 40 twists with the dumbbell, that's absolutely fine. And then back up, and you're going to do 30, 30, 30, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10, and finish with the 2,000 meter cash out. And then 10 minutes toes to bar practice. So if you're very proficient at toes to bar, by all means use this as an AMRAP, as many rounds as you can, as many reps as you can in the 10 minutes. Pay particular attention to the health of your hands. So I don't want you to blast it and really tear up your calluses or injure yourself by doing it. But instead, maybe if you are very proficient, spend that time doing some strict work. So really restricting the backwards kip of the movement, do as strict as you can. And you can even do that by going with partial reps, even with knee raises. So spend 10 minutes working on strengthening positions, playing around on the bar, but don't turn it into a mega workout. And that's it for day 2. On to day 3, we've got kettlebell lunges, dynamic lunges. So this workout is on the minute, every minute. We're going to do it for 20 minutes. We're going to rotate through kettlebell lunge on the left, which I'll demo in a second. Dynamic push-ups, we're going to do 8 to 12, and then dynamic ring rows, 8 to 12. So, kettlebell lunge on the left, push-ups, kettlebell lunge on the right, and then rows, you'll rotate through on the minute, every minute style. So these lunges, you might have seen on the Instagram video. You did a slower version of it last week in the deload week. Today, I'd like you to go a little faster. So in essence, you're picking up the kettlebell. As you go, it's a bit like a clean, if you're familiar with the Olympic lifts. So you're going to clean the kettlebell. As it's traveling up, you're going to be traveling down nice and fast. And then as you stand, before you get to the top, let it flow down. So you get good flow through the movement. You're going to do 6 in the first minute. So a nice pull, land, and stand. Nice and quick. So this is about speed and not linking the reps. So you don't have to link each one super fast. I'd rather you stabilized, got set, and then went for the speed. Then you rested for the remaining time of the minute, and then the dynamic push-ups. If you can, on your toes, chest and thighs down, and just leave the ground. If you can't do that with your toes, then do the same thing on your knees. You're, in essence, just pushing something away that's submaximal, nice and quick. Then you're going to go onto the other side for the same style lunges. Rest the remaining time in the minute, and dynamic rows. So you can do these with your feet on a box or on the ground, depending how good you feel in this movement. So traditionally, you go thumbs to armpits with a lot of control. Today, I want you to pull through, so at the top, the rings are loose, developing the same manner, the push on the dynamic push-up on a pull as well. So you're getting a nice balance between the two. And that's it for the first 20 minutes of day 3. Then an extra treat on day 3 is another intensity session. So this is going to encourage some strength gains, and obviously the benefits of this are going to be great for riding. So please do it. Don't be put off by the fact that there's 2 of these intensity sessions. This one is very different. It's 30 seconds on an assault bike, as hard as you can, so as many calories as you can accumulate within those 30 seconds. Then you're going to rest for a full 2.5 minutes. Don't do any less rest than that. It's important that those 2.5 minutes are 2.5 minutes. And you're going to do that 3 times for a total number of calories at the end. So expecting maybe 60 plus calories for the really good guys, and then anything below that, just as long as you're trying 100% throughout those 30 seconds of work. That's the key part on this. And then day 4 is going to be a bit of a mix-up. So I'd like you to look at the email and choose one of the core suggestions. So the core workouts, choose one of those, complete it, and then for 30 and 40 minutes, work through the mobility screening stuff. So we're going to be doing some mobility work to really, because this is a dynamic, very intense week, we want you to be recovered for some weekend riding, or certainly preparing for next week's training. So in that 30 to 40 minutes, very purposeful mobility work. And then at the end, another core from the selection. So I would probably suggest maybe doing Durante's core as a part A, because that's quite intense. It's a very difficult one. It'll be good to kind of prime you with your heart rate up for the mobility stuff. And then the 6x6 side plank bird dog pyramid at the end. But obviously it depends how much time you have. I'd rather you spent the time on the mobility stuff than either side on the core. And that's it for this week. So as always, send any emails, suggestions, Facebook messages, Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback. And until next week, happy riding, happy gymming. Peace.
1, 2, 3, listen.